Welcome to Medico Important Simplified. So today we are going to study about a very important question in community medicine, which is web of causation. So the question which they will usually ask is what is meant by web of causation, and using the web of causation model explain the natural history of coronary heart disease. So what is this web of causation? Web of causation is generally a model. Okay, it is a model that is ideally going to be suited for study of chronic diseases. Very important. Why do we do this model? It is mainly to study about chronic diseases, study of chronic diseases, where because during in chronic diseases the disease agent is often not known but is the outcome of interaction of multiple factors. So in chronic diseases the disease outcome is not known. Okay, so the disease outcome is not known, but this disease itself is nothing but it is an outcome of interaction of multiple factors. It is due to interaction of multiple factors. So web of causation is nothing but study of chronic diseases, and this disease outcome it is where the disease outcome will not be known, and it is a disease of interaction of multiple factors. So the main best example is myocardial infarction, coronary heart disease. So in exam they will ask you to also explain about the natural history of coronary heart disease. So example is myocardial infarction. It is a chronic disease and it arises due to a multiple number of factors. And another example we can say is TB. TB is not merely caused by tubercle bacilli, but it is also caused by poverty, overcrowding, nutrition, etc. So many factors are there. It's not just merely the bacilli, but there are other factors like poverty and overcrowding nutrition which play a major role in causing TB. So suppose there is a disease. Okay, so there is a disease. Disease is not just caused by a particular agent, but a variety of multiple factors. It can be either genetic factor, it can be either biologic factor, or it can be either a nutrient factor or a chemical factor, and there might be either a physical factor, or it can be either mechanical factor, environmental factor, social factor, economical factor, psychological factor, and cultural factor. So it's a multifactorial cause. Just a chronic disease like genetic, biological, nutrient, chemical, physical, and environmental, mechanical, economical, psychological, cultural. All various factors play a role, and not merely just a disease agent. Now let's see the natural history in case of myocardial infarction. In lifestyle and stress, these two are the main components playing in myocardial infarction. So both lifestyle factor as well as stress will be, smoking will be a component, and in lifestyle abundance of food, lack of physical exercise, so both of this, abundance of food as well as lack of physical exercise, will lead to obesity. Obesity will lead to hyperlipidemia, and hyperlipidemia will be finally leading to coronary atherosclerosis. Smoking leads to increase in catecholamines, catecholamines. And always remember, increase in catecholamines will lead to a thrombotic tendency. Now, stress will be another cause is going to be emotional disturbances. Stress inducing is going to be your emotional disturbances. So these emotional disturbances, like say anger, is an emotion which is going to be triggering factor for hypertension. And hypertension in the wall of arteries, it will act in the wall of arteries and will finally lead to all of this cause. Catecholamine leading to thrombotic tendency, coronary atherosclerosis, as well as hypertension in wall of arteries will all lead to only one common condition, which is coronary occlusion. It will cause coronary atherosclerosis, will cause coronary occlusion. And catecholamines increasing the thrombotic tendency again will cause coronary occlusion, and which will lead to myocardial ischemia, and finally leading to myocardial infarction. So this is the natural history of disease, web of causation for myocardial infarction. You have lifestyle factors as stress inducing factors. In lifestyle factors like abundance of food, lack of physical exercise, and smoking. Stress inducing factors are again smoking and emotional disturbances. Emotional disturbances will cause hypertension, and hypertension will act in the wall of arteries, leading to coronary occlusion, myocardial ischemia, and myocardial infarction. Now, in lifestyle factors, smoking will increase catecholamines, leading to thrombotic tendency and further leading on to the following factors, that is coronary occlusion, myocardial ischemia, and myocardial infarction. And abundance of food will cause obesity. Obesity will cause hyperlipidemia, and hyperlipidemia will cause coronary atherosclerosis, and all of them will finally result in coronary occlusion, myocardial ischemia, and myocardial infarction. So we saw the main what is web of causation, examples, and okay, now we will see what is the limitation of the concept in this condition. So the limitation of concept here is, see, this is a multifactorial disease, okay? Myocardial infarction, say it is a multifactorial illness. In a multifactorial illness, all the individual factors are not equally important. That is the factor that you need to remember here. In a multifactorial illness, all are not equally important. See, all the factors are not equally important. So sometimes removal or elimination of just one link or one chain may be even sufficient to control the disease. So which means it doesn't imply that all or multiple factors has to be removed in order to control the disease. Now for example, now say this, in order to remove this disease myocardial infarction, you don't have to remove all the factors. Just smoking alone or breaking this chain alone can be you can prevent this disease, or you can control myocardial infarction by just breaking this chain alone. Okay, so any one chain or any one link removal or elimination alone is sufficient to control the disease. So it doesn't imply that all or multiple factors has to be removed in order to control the disease. So this is the limitation of concept. Removal of even one link or one chain is sufficient to control the disease. Now, what is the importance of web of causation? By knowing the web of causation, health measures can be planned for prevention of control. So very important reason why we do web of causation is to measure and plan about health measures. So health measures are going to be planned, and that is the main importance of web of causation. Thank you.